What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to bring this type of content to you guys. I don't really ever claim to be very kind of research based when it comes to my channel, but I really tried my best to bring out my research experience in this particular video, where I did a deep dive on a comment that I truly appreciate, where somebody corrected me on the fact that Black Radiance is not Black owned. I recently did a video where I talked about 5 additional Black owned brands that I wanted you guys to know about in, Black History Month for 2024. And when that comment happened, as I always do, I go and I look to make sure that, they're right, and I appreciate the way not only that they expressed it, but the fact that they did express it. So 100% thank you so much, the person that commented that. I really appreciate you. But then when I did a kind of deeper dive, I realized that I'm not the only person that goes through this, and there were just some interesting things that I found that I just wanted to kind of sit down to with you guys and talk about. So I hope you guys are interested in hearing what I found. Let's get into it. So first things first, what I always love to do is just do a basic Google search to figure out what's going on. And I do want to just preface this video by saying, really, I'm not really bringing a lot of new perspective or new content here. Unfortunately, there was just really nothing additional that I could personally find. That said, I did not find any YouTuber that talked about this, and I felt like I just wanted to add this to the platform for those who maybe don't feel like reading, don't want to read, can't read English. This can be hopefully translated to other languages so that you can understand what I have found and hopefully others have found as well. So I will have all of the articles that I looked at to get this information down below linked. So definitely look at that description box. And if you're wondering what's going on with my makeup, I did film it and it will be linked when it's up. I don't know the order in which this is going up because I am pre-filming prior to going on a trip. Black Radiance as a brand was officially trademarked December 1990. This trademark was, I think, officially approved or registered in January 1993. So it took about 3 years for their trademark to officially be approved and registered and all of that. I feel like sometimes this can happen if you start the trademark process and you don't have the products to showcase to the trademark kind of bureau or whatever, or it might have literally just been back then, it just took that long for people to get their official trademarks gone, through the whole process. I haven't really looked into it that far on that aspect, and since I've never kind of fully done a trademark, I can't really speak to that portion of this video and kind of the context of that. But I did just want to let you guys know that that was kind of the background of when this brand was established. We know that it was established in New York and that it was a small brand that was really founded on the principles of creating products for Black or darker skinned individuals, where they focused really on powders, foundations, etc. And because in those days that really was not a popular topic, they really found a niche in the market, and that's why the brand took off in the way that it took off. Of course, the framing around the naming I really find interesting as well, and I'll kind of try to touch base on that again in the end of this video when I explain why that is so interesting to me. This was officially purchased by Marquin's Beauty Brands in 2003. And if you did not know, the original founder of this beauty brand is Eric Chen, and he was from Taiwan. And what he really kind of began his brand on is bringing products from Taiwan to the United States. And I think once that kind of took off, he began to acquire brands that were already in the United States that he felt envisioned his kind of motto of his brand. And some of those brands very quickly are Wet n Wild, Physicians Formula, Lip Smackers, and Lorac, additionally to, of course, Black Radiance. The motto that I found on their website is as follows: as the biggest indie beauty company in the United States, we are on a mission to promote diversity in the beauty industry with a small business commitment to quality, value, and integrity. So there are some buzzwords there for me that I find very, very interesting. The brand referenced themselves as being an indie beauty company. They also say that they really want to promote diversity in the beauty industry and that they want to bring the small business aspect to their kind of bigger company. And, I want you to really listen again to the brands that this brand has currently under their umbrella: Black Radiance, Wet n Wild, Physicians Formula, Lip Smackers, and Lorac. If this brand's one of their goals out of their motto is to include or promote diversity in the beauty industry, why is it that all of their brands under their umbrella don't have a wide inclusive shade range? And the one brand that they have that does have a darker, more inclusive shade range on the darker spectrum specifically is labeled Black Radiance. Well, some people have said that this kind of marketing, this changing of adding black to the branding, such as other brands like Black Opal, they changed their logo a little bit where it's now spelled BLK/OPL. That is a target to kind of reduce the truly black owned brands, because what you do is you see the terminology and you associate it with being black owned. This has happened from the change of Black Opal changing their brand. We see this issue specifically in a marketplace known as BLK GRN. They're a marketplace that promotes black owned businesses, and I believe they even really tried to focus, at least originally, on black female owned businesses. And people have stated that in changing your name, or even kind of taking this black fishing technique where you're allowing individuals or consumers to think that you're black owned without kind of objectively stating, no, we're not. We just want to promote, beauty in the darker spectrum of skin tones. You get this imbalance. There's an imbalance. There's a kind of a deception that can be perceived in doing these kind of things. And I do want to just kind of briefly mention that Black Radiance is not the only brand that kind of a lot of people feel blackfished by. Like I said, you have Black Opal and Black Up, although Black Up has gone back and forth when it comes to their ownership being black owned or not. And I think sometimes in some of these other brands, at least at one point, they were officially known to have been created by a black person, or somebody of darker skin tone. There's literally no record at all, unfortunately, where we know who kind of officially established Black Radiance at all. We really don't know. And I find that very interesting. I did a lot of research trying to figure out more understanding on the trademarks. I found, like I said, when the trademark was officially established, like I said, in 1990. And I know from articles that this brand was acquired in 2003 from this big beauty brand, Marquins. But we don't know who owned prior. And I at least have not been able to find a way to uncover the previous owner of the trademark, as it seemed the trademark was literally transitioned instead of kind of invalidated and making the new brand owner create their own. So this is all just, I'm truly intrigued. I was so intrigued that I spent quite a few hours really just trying to dig and try to find information. And as I'm intrigued, I hope that this is intriguing to you guys as well. So some other kind of narratives that other people have stated is that they have continued to align themselves with the Black community with propaganda and marketing. Specifically in 2020, they did a Black Beauty Matters campaign where they aligned themselves and they collaborated with quite a few influencers where they were just talking about their products, showcasing their products. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Let me specify that here. I find that there's nothing wrong with people who are not of African descent creating products for those who are. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that that's great. But where I kind of don't truly know how to feel is the fact that this brand has in a way profited from the deception potentially that a lot of people have of them being black owned when they're not. There are countless articles online that highlight this brand as being black owned, me included in my previous video where I specifically stated that this was a black owned brand, and it's not. And I think that's the difference that can be stated between this brand and potentially other brands of its kind that are doing this black fishing technique or strategy. And so, yeah, and I really, like I said, I want to go back to that motto where they're talking about how they're a big indie company that's located in the US and they're striving for diversity with a small business commitment for quality, value, and integrity. I won't sit here and say that the quality and the value of Black Radiance products aren't great. I've tried a couple. None of them have really been great for me, so I've never really kept them in my collection long term. But the concept of integrity and them never really voicing they're not Black owned. That's the thing for me. That's the thing for me. I would love to hear your opinions. As you know, we see this nowadays where a lot of Black owned brands or just culturally owned brands are being bought out by others and expanded. And I find it very interesting how, because that alignment with either the name or the previous owner, the brand continues to still be associated with what they previously were, whether they were Asian owned, Black owned, Hispanic owned, whatever. And I think it's just more knowledge, more understanding for us to all just be more knowledgeable consumers, to truly know where our money is going, who we're supporting, all of that. Because like I said, even I previously made the mistake earlier this month, and without one of you sitting there and taking the time to comment and correct me, which I truly appreciate, I would have continued to think that Black Radiance was a Black owned brand, and they're not. They're not. There is literally no documentation at all proving that they are, and or have ever been. And yeah, I would love to know who the previous owner is. That information, like I said, I could not find at all. I couldn't find an article. I couldn't find any information on the trademarks to determine that. But yeah, I just felt like it would be interesting to talk to you guys about this concept, about this black fishing concept. The first time I heard about it was in the article, and basically the article was just stating how you think you're getting one thing, but you're not. I would love to hear your opinions down below. Yeah, I would love to hear them. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.